Right, so following on from yesterday, I did some training where I was talking about sort of training for the situation, preparing your dogs with things like disengagement, impulse control, retrieves on multiple items. So that was specifically to deal with, to deal with, picking up objects while you're out and maybe running off with them, playing keep away, things like that. I love you too, Mac, and I know it's been too long. Right, Mac, no. No. Good boy, lie down. Right, so following on, hi everyone, following on from the video I did yesterday with the retrieves of multiple items, which was really about sort of creating that dog that doesn't want to play keep away with items, but actually wants to maybe bring them back. So you don't have to worry about the drop it or anything like that, or the leave it, because they're not getting the value of you chasing them and them finding an object. There's actually value in them returning these objects to you. Now, obviously, we still do need leave it, drop, commands like that. But the way that I like to train, I think it's far more powerful, is rather than always having this instructional you will, which doesn't really deal with any of the emotion that the dog's feeling behind that. So, for example, if you say, wait, stay, leave, the dog can follow that instruction, but the emotion of wanting it is still there. Whereas if they choose to leave it themselves, then the desire changes, the emotion behind it. Good boy. So the emotion behind it changes and they self-regulate, and it's more likely that you're only going to have to issue one command for them to stay, rather than, when did I last go out around my local park? But, and you can see people go, it's like they're constantly saying stay, 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 wait, 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 wait. And there's just a lot of communication to the dog in that respect. I mean, you can actually almost see the dog. You can see like the piloerection on the dog's back. You can see that itching to go and get it. So the desire is still there, but they are actually holding themselves by the command. But if you left them too long, they wouldn't be able to. And that's where impulse control really comes in. So I wanted to try and do a session where I could show you what it looks like to train this, not necessarily with cues to start with. I do add cues, obviously, but I want to try and see whether I can get the dog to give me the behaviour first and then add the cue to the behaviour, because that's the easier way around. So I'm doing it with a different dog because obviously Bliss and Rebel both do this really, really well, and it would be hard to maybe show you a dog that may come forward. I mean, Mac, haven't seen him for a while, so this is his first day with us for a long time. But we're going to see how he does, but you can see he's quite food motivated. So this hopefully will show you the sort of process. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to see if I can get him into positions. Come here, Mac. Macky. Good boy. And I'm just going to pop some food down. I'm just going to let him eat it. Pop some food down again. So then if I pop some food here, and then I'm going to block. So you can see how he's still staring at it. And you can see his body is, so every time he moves towards it, I'm just covering it over. This is called the mouse game. What I'm looking for is for him to disengage away. So you can see he's still really sort of focused on it. So again, I'm just waiting for an appropriate behaviour. We almost got it. So again, patience is key. Just trying to figure out what is it that I want to do. So often we can help dogs too much in terms that we constantly sort of think about what it is. So you can see that as soon as he moves towards it, I'm covering it over. Now I will sometimes, yes, good boy. you can see how now I can pick those up again, and then to reinvigorate him again, I can pop some down again. Maybe move them in there, so if he comes towards it, cover. Yes, good boy. So we've got a bit of a fake look there, so that's a fake look. Yes, good boy. Thank you. Just in time. So you can see how he's still got the desire. And then what I can look for more and more kind of behaviours to shape differently. So he knows I've got some food here, so he's like, well, what do I do? So I've got more focus on me. What a good boy. Good boy. So you see the physical blocking, because that's what dogs would do if they were communicating to each other. They don't speak to each other. They would just sort of physically block. So I'm just sort of saying, so you see we've got fake calmness. You're a cheeky boy. Good boy. So I can pick that up again. And sometimes I can let him sort of get some of these foods. So what I'm going to do is just throw him off, let him go and get one, throw him on that way. And I'm going to get him into a sit. I'm going to pop some food now down here, like that. Thank you. So eventually, once I get this consistent sort of and faster check-in with me, so if I play with this food, I'll have to try and zoom this in. Yes, good boy. So you can maybe see his face, but what I'm looking for is a good choice. Yes. So send one away and see if he comes back for this. Cover it over. Leave it. Good boy. So now I can start adding my leave it. Good boy. And I can add some more food on the floor like that. Move my hand towards it to cover it over. You won't necessarily be able to see that because I've got it sort of in a strange position. So I'm just going to throw that one over there. So even though he's looking at me, so it's what we call a fake look. So he's not fully disengaged from the food on the floor. Now that's a little bit better. Leave it. Good boy. So you can see how now I can introduce the leave it. But what's not happening is he's not losing anything because the food's still here. but he's getting the balance of me rewarding him for getting it right. And eventually what I can say is I can go, good boy, go get it, and let him get the food. Okay. Now, the reason, again, why it's important that I do let him get that from time to time is because if I always restrict this, then, of course, there's always a chance that he goes, well, I'm going to get it, I'm going to take it. Whereas if I play about with it and let him get it sometimes, not others, I put it on variable reward ratio. You've heard me speak about that before. Good boy. How resistant it is to extinction, so it actually makes the behaviour better. So what I'm doing here is just letting him know that there is a chance for him to get this, and that will build it to be more robust. So again, pop some food down, cover it. Leave it. Good boy. So you can see there's no spoken command there, and the food's on the floor. I know you're doing really well. So I'm not pushing the dog, I'm not getting annoyed with the dog, just if he makes a move towards it, I'm just reminding him, no, you know. So this becomes that physical sort of block. Good boy. And the reward comes for making the right choice. So there's a balance there of, you know, just physically blocking, but not pushing, not putting him under any pressure. And he's getting the reward. Then I can have the food on the floor, can add stuff to it. Leave it. Good boy. So we've got a big pile of food on the floor there. Send him away. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. And then the idea next time is that I throw one away and I can just go, leave it. Good boy. And I can start saying the command sooner. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Leave it. And again, throw one away. Leave it. Good boy. So I didn't even have to get my hand fully over it that time, and it actually responded to the leave it. Good boy. No. Come on. Leave it. Good boy. Yes. You can see we've got this pile of food here. Leave it. Good boy. So now I can start bringing that cue forward a little bit. But look at what this does in terms, you know, we've been doing this, and good old Mac, you know, panting away, because, you know, we're mentally stimulating him here. I'm not putting them under any pressure. He's getting plenty of rewards for doing the right stuff. You know, but I will say this, you know, if your dog found this too stressful, you know, and the hand going over kind of elicited some fear responses, or, you know, obviously we need to think about that, because anything we train in really low level stimulus, and then we gradually build up. So this was the start of, I mean, with Rebel was one piece of food on the floor to leave it, walk past it. We've built that up over time till you saw, if you saw the video yesterday with Bliss, where I put the freeze-dried venison and blueberry, you know, on the agility platform, and she came away from it. That takes a bit of time to work towards, but that's the ultimate aim. But you do it in stages. I think the post I did this morning, we talk about, you know, getting my dog to go through SATs, GCSEs, A-levels, diplomas, degrees, and then into the real world. So it really is step by step, but you're doing so well, Mackie boy. Good boy. So you can see as his arousal builds, then he comes back. So he's doing really well. I know, buddy. Yes, good boy. Oh, got a freebie. Leave it. Oh, yeah, see that? So now you can start to see that the leave it has that little bit of meaning now, as we've been doing. It can take, you know, up to 400 repetitions to create a really strong cue. But you saw there how his nose went towards it, and I just sort of said the cue. So I'm going to say command, because I always kind of... So, throw one away. And I would do this with items that the dog values. So if your dog values stones, then I would put the stones here and start doing this game with the stones. So it pays the dog to leave the stones. I worked with a young lab that liked bark. So you know the bark you put around the garden, and used to love doing that. And this is exactly the game that we played with that dog. Mac. So I've got a big pile of food, so again just cover that like that. Yes, good boy. Put some more down. Leave it. Good boy. Leave it. Yes, good boy. Go on then, get it. And I think with that final, leave it there. And this is the first time that I've done this with Mac. So you can see a nice steady process. Nice and gentle, but big rewards, you know. I know. I know, you did so well. You did so well. Good boy. And then we can have a big old play session. What's your tail, buddy? I know. Yes, good boy. Right. Good boy. Good boy. Right. So if you've got any questions, hopefully that makes sense in terms of you can do that with tissues, you can do that with hankies, you can do it with socks, you can do it with any item that your dog values. You just need to have something that is of equal or higher value than the item itself to start building that concept. So that could be really high value treats, could be another toy, could be a sort of play session. But if you just look at Mac's vase now, come here, buddy. And if you look, I don't know if you could hear him. It's gone quiet now. So, what are you doing, buddy? There you go. Good boy. But it did, you know, got him panting, got him going, got his brain working things out. So, and you might just be able to pick up that. And that's just from this little mini session. Good boy. So, any questions, pop them in the comments below and we'll see how we get on. Take care.